It's pretty cool. Gonna get a chance here to talk to a guy that I covered when he played for the Miami Dolphins. He's a former Iowa and Arkansas tight end, former Miami Dolphins tight end, and now he's getting involved in NIL, which I absolutely love because you guys know that I'm very much pro name, image, and likeness. AJ Derby joins us, former Miami Dolphin. AJ, so nice to see you, man. How you been?
I've been good, man. Alex, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And so tell me about, so you're launching an NIL platform. It allows athletes to get paid through fan to player interaction, which I know fans are always craving more of that.
Yep.
And you do have some Miami players involved in this. I see Tyler Van Dyke and Jafari Harvey are on that list. So
Yep.
tell folks about this platform because I'm sure our listeners and viewers are chomping at the bit to interact with TVD.
Well, perfect. Yeah. So we are building a digital destination for fan and college athlete interaction. And really what that means is we built a platform with one paywall. It's $9.99 a month. And then every interaction with your favorite athletes helps them get paid. So it's kind of like a Spotify payout. So every message that you send to Tyler Van Dyke and he responds to helps him make more money. Every like, every comment, every video that you look at of their stuff, it helps their athletes earn, and it helps you get more content or more engagement with your favorite athletes.
I like it. It feels like in this era, like fans get an opportunity to be closer to these players than ever, right? I mean, some players are more active on Twitter than others, but I think for something like this, when there's money involved, and these guys deserve to be paid for their name, image, and likeness, I'm sure they're going to be even more active on something like this than they would be on Twitter. So fans, there's not a big barrier between fans and players now.
Yeah, 100%. So going back a little bit, when I played, and I'm sure these guys are getting the same things, you'd get like 500 DMs after games and Twitter messages, and it was just hard to respond. And like at the end of the day, you're tired. But if there's like a way for some of the athletes to get money or get paid based on talking to some of the fans that are diehards, we're trying to optimize that. That's really what we're looking for.
Can you take me like inside? Like, what are those inboxes like? Like, if it's a tough game and like God forbid you drop a pass or something, like how nasty would people get?
Oh, they're bad. Especially when you can tell the people are gambling on the game, they get very aggressive. And I
Yeah.
remember when I was playing for the Broncos against the Titans in like a 2 minute drive, some guy like stripped me on after I caught a pass and like I fumbled, and so we lost the game. And I just got berated on Twitter and DM. So that was a tough one.
Like, and obviously I know that like while guys are playing, like you're not thinking about gambling and stuff, and that's not allowed. But like, do you like eventually do you get into to fantasy football? I should say, because like I know some former players, like wasn't a teammate of yours, but a former Dolphin, Channing Crowder, who like dominates his fantasy football leagues. Like he's so into that now.
I have not actually gotten into it. I'm for some reason I've never been a sports better. I think it's hard to bet on sports. Those guys in Vegas are so good at making those lines. So I'd rather just sit back and enjoy and watch the show, watch the athletes make plays.
Oh man, so let people know how do they get set up on this platform? Has it launched? When does it launch? And what can people look for?
Yeah, we actually started launching last week. We are it's a website, so we're tweaking everything every day, trying to make it better for everybody. But so you just sign up, make a username, then you put your credit card information, get a subscription going, and then you have access to every athlete that's on there. So it could be a Miami athlete, or if there's athletes from other schools you want to talk to as well, you can talk to them. But at the end of the day, whoever you're talking to, whoever videos and stuff you're engaging with is the athletes that's going to be making money off of it.
We've only had NIL in the college football space, the college sports space, I should say, for the last couple of years. I'm sure that when you were playing AJ, when you were at Iowa and Arkansas, was it you guys must have wanted something like this, right? Because it was always so taboo, even the idea that players could get paid for anything back in those days. And now here we go.
Yeah, honestly, I'm very happy for the kids that have it right now. I would say I'm very jealous. I was very highly recruited quarterback, so I would have thought I would have had a pretty good NIL experience. And at the same time, like people were offering me to pay for dinners and buy drinks and stuff like that, and that was all illegal at the time. So these guys are very fortunate, and I love that the NIL is an opportunity because these guys have worked their butt off, and they have like a 4 or 5 year window to optimize on getting to the almost the highest level of the sport. It's pretty cool that they're doing this.
How did you go from highly recruited quarterback to high level college football and NFL tight end? Was that like, did you know I might make this transition, or was that something you decided once you got to college?
So yeah, I played quarterback all the way up till my senior year of college. I was very determined to be a quarterback and give everything I had to be in that. And honestly, I saved a lot of hits on my body by playing backup quarterback throughout college. So I just kind of stood there and held a clipboard. So I was very lucky and fortunate. I was always a very athletic guy, and then I seamlessly made a transition to tight end at Arkansas. And I was fortunate to play with Hunter Henry, so I didn't have to do all the blocking. I got to just run the routes, and Hunter took care of like the Y position, and I just kind of got to have the fun. So it was a great experience.
And it worked out well, obviously, in college because you get drafted by the New England Patriots. I've got to get the inside scoop.
Yep.
What's it like playing for Bill Belichick? Because he's so mysterious from my point of view.
Yeah, he's very mysterious. He's mysterious when you're in the building as well. You never know what he's thinking. But it's great. Honestly, he's exactly what you'd expect him to be. He's very hard. He loves football. He always wants to be when you're in the building talking football. But he's definitely a guy that gets the most out of his players, and that's why they continuously win. And it was very fun to be there, honestly.
And what was it like playing with Tom Brady? Because and people, I get hate mail, AJ, because I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, and yet I admit I'm a big fan of Tom Brady. I respect his greatness. I've
Yep.
always been a fan of Brady, and people hate me for it. What was it like playing with the man himself?
It was unbelievable. Honestly, I never like had that honestly starstruck before in my life, but I was remember when I was wanting to be a quarterback, I would sit there and watch YouTube videos of Tom throwing football. So like that was like surreal for me to go and actually play with him. Funny story is he actually like one of my first catches I ever caught from him. I jammed my wedding finger really bad, and so I still can't wear my wedding ring, so I have to wear one of those rubber ones. So it's a good story.
And he was old when you got into the league, and he's still doing it. Does that surprise you at all, or you always thought, "Oh, this guy's going to do it till he's almost 50?"
I honestly thought Tom would play until Tom wanted to hang him up. I think what he does and the way he prepares is unbelievable, and he's going to keep playing as long as Tom wants to play.
Is really cool stuff. We're talking with former NFL tight end AJ Derby, who also had a stint with my Miami Dolphins as well. But I wanted to ask you about this Canes FSU game coming up. And listen, I'm sure if Miami gets a big win and if Van Dyke plays, because we're not sure about that, his status is very much in question. But if he plays and beats Florida State, I'm sure he's going to get a ton of requests from fans sending him messages this week. Do you give Miami a shot? Because Vegas doesn't really. How do you see this game playing out?
I think Miami does have a shot. I think people are overlooking the Hurricanes right now. I think especially if Tyler plays. Last week they kind of looked like they were running the ball a lot more than they would typically do if Tyler was playing. But I think you give him a shot, especially if Tyler's playing.
Yeah, man. So I just hope it's one of those special Hard Rock Stadium nights. I mean, I guess if it's gonna be a blowout, I'd like a Miami blowout. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I hope it's not a Florida State blowout because it's one of those things, AJ, when Miami, Florida State, how many times over the years it comes down to a game-winning kick, it comes down to like a big interception and like a game-winning touchdown. What was the biggest rivalry game you were a part of, and do those just hit different?
Yeah, those in-state games definitely do hit different. When I was at Iowa, it was Iowa, Iowa State, and it was always a sloppy game. No one really followed what they were supposed to do, and just kind of came down to just a battle until the end. And then when I was at Arkansas, it was normally LSU was our big rival for the battle of the boot, and we got them once, and I lost once when I was there. So it was great games.
Like, is the biggest thing, and I'm sure this is probably an even bigger factor, like in Iowa than it was Arkansas and LSU, like because so many of the players on both teams like grew up playing with each other, like from Pop Warner through high school. So
Yep.
it's like you still have that kind of little brother, big brother mentality you took from high school. I feel like that's one of the reasons why these rivalry games are hard to predict.
Yeah, 100%. There's so much more emotion in those games than they are in other games. There's like you said, there's like back to high school, they hatred or love for each other, and at the same time, the in-state, the fans are so excited, and these young 18, 22-year-olds are just amped, and it's hard to control what you're doing out there at that time. It takes a long time to learn how to play when you're that excited.
Well, it's great catching up with you, man. And let the people know one more time where they can find you. You know, those watching on the video, they can see your Twitter handle there, but shout it out for those listening who can't and where to find the platform.
Yeah, our handle is web.onlysports.io, web.onlysports.io, and it's a place where you can talk to your favorite athletes. Young athletes can go reach out and try to learn and get some tips and drills. And so we're trying to create a place that you can talk to your favorite college athletes.
Well, I love it, man. I know people are going to take advantage of it. AJ, thank you so much, and enjoy all the big games this Saturday and Sunday.
I will. You as well. Thank you, Alex. Thanks for having me.